Ice Cube, because Ice Cube has come out and given everybody some brutal truth. Sorry, Angel Reese, the $5 million offer was only for Caitlin Clark.
Personal, but it was business. That's all it is, business. Y'all gonna make it personal, though.
Ice Cube just embarrassed Angel Reese in front of the entire sports world without even raising his voice. And it only took 12 words to do it when he told TMZ, "Sorry, Angel, the $5 million offer was only for Caitlin Clark." And that's when everything changed, because this wasn't personal, it was pure business. And that business decision sent a message louder than any headline that the Bayou Barbie wasn't worth the investment. And the moment Cube said it, you could almost hear the sponsorship doors slamming shut one after another. And the worst part is that right after this brutal reality check, Caitlin Clark rolled into Chicago Angels' own turf and completely stole the city like she owned it. Fans swarmed her cameras, chased her crowds, screamed her name, like Michael Jordan had just walked back into the United Center. And for Angel, this wasn't just a bad moment, it was the week her brand collapsed in real time.
For Ice Cube, they're about to come and get Ice Cube. We know how this works. It won't be long.
Angel Reese is in full-blown meltdown mode as major sponsorships quietly back away, and the fallout is getting louder by the day, from Ice Cube's cold-blooded rejection to fans turning whispers into full-scale criticism, because what was supposed to be her moment, as the next face of the WNBA has turned into a branding nightmare. And it all started when Caitlin Clark walked straight into her spotlight, and didn't just take a piece of it, she took the whole thing, the Reebok. A campaign that was hyped up as her Trap a Queen takeover now looks like a distant memory. Because while Angel was supposed to be the marketing goldmine, the fan magnet, the league's new superstar Caitlin came in and flipped the script almost overnight, and the headlines shifted, the social media mood changed, and inside the industry, sponsors started looking at the hard numbers and realizing the hype wasn't matching the return on investment, which is why those once eager brands have suddenly gone silent.
So, Ice Cube, you see the headline from TMZ. Sorry, Angel Reese, the $5 million offer was only for Caitlin Clark. This is confirmation from the people that want to pay the money. Sponsors.
And then Ice Cube lit the match that set this whole PR wildfire ablaze when TMZ caught him at LAX and asked why his Big Three league had put a $5 million offer on the table for Caitlin Clark, but not Angel Reese. And Cube didn't sugarcoat it. He said, "Sorry, Angel, it's nothing personal, it's just business. The offer was only for Caitlin because sponsors told us she could unlock millions, and Angel not so much." And just like that, the truth was out in the open, because when someone with Ice Cube's credibility says, "You're not worth the investment," corporate America listens, and almost instantly, execs started making calls, re-evaluating campaigns, asking if they should even move forward with Angel's next rollout. And one by one, the enthusiasm faded, because in sponsorship, land perception is currency, and the perception just flipped overnight.
TMZ Sports caught up with Ice Cube himself at LAX this week, and the Big Three honcho said that there will be no deal put in front of Angel Reese anytime soon.
And while Angel tried to play it cool on social media, posting selfies, hyping up her so-called Queen energy, the numbers told a different story, because every time Caitlin Clark stepped on the court ticket, sales spiked, merchandise sold out. Streams went crazy, and every brand she touched saw instant engagement, while Angel's Reebok deal barely moved the needle. And that's when the real panic set in behind the scenes, because Reebok had bet big, thinking Angel would be a crossover icon, someone who could drive culture and sales. But instead, she became a polarizing figure, with more people debating her attitude than buying her shoes. And in a league desperate to grow, that's a death sentence for marketability. So while Caitlin was winning Rookie of the Month, breaking records, and selling out arenas, Angel was stuck watching her spotlight fade, and sponsors were asking themselves if they'd backed the wrong star.
They didn't tell us the same thing about Angel Reese.
Caitlin Clark went to Chicago and took the city over. It looked like she took the city over. CC with MJ. CC get treated like MJ in the rack. Oh my God.
And then came the knockout blow when Ice Cube himself looked straight into the camera and made it crystal clear that the $5 million Big Three offer was always meant for Caitlin Clark, and only Caitlin Clark, not Angel, not anybody else. Just Clark, because the sponsors said she could unlock millions while Angel couldn't, and Cube didn't sugarcoat it. He flat out said, "I'm not in the business of losing money," and that one sentence hit harder than any crossover, because if I'm street legend and businessman. Like Cube says, "You're not worth the investment. Why would corporate America think differently?" And the second those words dropped, you could practically hear the phones ringing in boardrooms, executives suddenly checking the numbers, asking, are we really going forward with this Angel Reese rollout? And one by one, enthusiasm started dying because perception is currency. And in that moment, the market decided Caitlin Clark was the blue chip stock. Angel Reese was the risky gamble nobody wanted to take. And just when it couldn't get worse, the WNBA All-Star Weekend turned into the ultimate reality check because Caitlin Clark walked in like the league's golden ticket cameras, flashing fans, screaming, celebrities lining up for photos, while Angel's big Reebok showcase felt like an afterthought shoved into a corner with no buzz, no viral moments, no real traction, and even the league's own promo material barely featured her. Meanwhile, Caitlin was everywhere, smiling in highlight reels, mic'd up in interviews, dominating the conversation on ESPN and social media. And when the weekend ended, the stats didn't lie. Caitlin's merch sold out again, her jersey hit #1 in sales, and she walked away as the face of the league without even trying. While Angel's sales numbers looked like a clearance rack special. And for Reebok, that wasn't just embarrassing, it was devastating, because they'd planned this huge marketing push and ended up with a flop they couldn't spin. And the whispers in the marketing world started turning into open conversations about whether Angel Reese was already past her prime before she even hit it. And that's when the brutal truth started hitting home, because in the modern sports world, your brand power isn't just about how you play, it's about how you trend. And Caitlin Clark was trending globally while Angel Reese was trending locally. And barely at that every single metric proved it. Caitlin's clips were pulling millions of views on TikTok. Her name was dominating hashtags. Her highlights were being reposted by accounts with followers in the tens of millions, while Angel's moments were struggling to crack even a fraction of that. And brands notice this stuff fast. They have algorithms and analytics teams feeding them real-time data. And when they see one athlete outperform another by a mile in every category, they know where the money's going. And it's not sentiment, it's strategy. They're buying influence and audience reach, not attitude and drama. So even the most loyal Angel Reese supporters had to admit the gap wasn't just big, it was widening by the day. And with every passing week, Caitlin Clark's value was shooting up like a stock in a bull market, while Angel's was sliding into penny stock territory. And by this point, even people inside the WNBA who had been quietly rooting for Angel were starting to accept the uncomfortable reality that the league wasn't going to bend the narrative in her favor, no matter how much they tried. Because Caitlin Clark had become too big to ignore. Her presence was filling arenas, her games were selling out weeks in advance, her television appearances were pulling record ratings, and her fan base wasn't just loyal, they were relentless buying tickets and traveling across states just to watch her play while Angel's crowds were shrinking, her buzz fading, and her public image taking hit after hit from social media blowups and failed PR moves. And as much as the league loves drama, they know drama doesn't pay the bills. Star power does. And Caitlin was delivering it in truckloads. So when brand deals, media coverage, and even league marketing dollars started shifting toward her, it wasn't personal, it was business, and in the cold. World of professional sports business always wins. So now Angel Reese is staring at the harshest mirror of her career, because every time she tries to clap back, every time she posts a cryptic tweet, every time she throws a little shade at Caitlin, all she's really doing is reminding the world that her brand has become tied to someone else's shine. And that is the fastest way to lose your own lane. And the truth is, she doesn't need Caitlin to stay relevant. She's already got the talent, the personality, the championship pedigree, but as long as she's playing the compare and compete game, she's going to keep losing deals, losing fans, and losing momentum. Because sponsors aren't paying for sidekick energy, they're paying for market leaders, and right now Caitlin is the one carrying that crown. So Angel's choice is simple. Stop chasing someone else's spotlight and build your own empire, or keep playing second fiddle while the league builds itself around your rival, because the hard truth is in sports and in business. Nobody remembers the person who almost had it. They remember the one who took it and never gave it back. And that's the part nobody wants to say out loud, because in the history of every sport, there comes a moment when one player becomes so undeniable, so magnetic, so unstoppable, that the conversation stops being about skill and starts being about legacy, and whether you like her or hate her. Caitlin Clark just crossed that line while Angel Reese is still standing on the other side watching the parade go by. And here's the kicker. Once that shift happens, it almost never swings back, because fans pick their hero brands, pick their face of the league, and the media builds their next decade around them. So unless Angel flips the script with something bigger, faster, louder, and more dominant than anything she's ever done, she's not just going to lose this season, she's going to lose the story. And in sports, losing the story means losing everything. And when that happens, it's game over. No rematch, no reset. Just a new era where her name gets mentioned as a footnote under the person who took the crown and never let it go.